Hi, my name is Amanda and welcome to THE Network. Today we're going to take you through a couple of the essentials in Runway with the artist agency. And with me is Sara, a student that I'm going to be taking on this little journey with you guys today. I'm going to take you now through a little bit of my journey with the artist agency and being a runway model. I always had a passion for being on stage. I used to be a classical ballet dancer, and that career ended, and I wanted to still be on stage. And that's what led me to the artist agency and becoming a runway model. It's very important to have the necessary essentials, one of them being the model bag. And I have here Sara with me. And Sara, how many runway shows have you done? Are you new at this?
Yeah, I'm very new. I've done one fashion show. I really like to get into it. It's always a new experience, and it would be better to learn more about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Showing up for the casting is very important. You want to have your first appearance is everything. You want to have your nails, your hair, your makeup, and what you're wearing needs to be on point because that is what's going to get you the job. Yeah. My first booking was the Great Ladies Luncheon. It was so special. It was amazing. And I will tell you that when I showed up, I had all of the essentials that was needed. Having the model bag, which we can talk about in a little while. But you know, showing up on time. I made sure that I was there 15, 20 minutes before the call time. You know, there are specific things that will be asked of you, whether to have hair and makeup. Usually they will have hair and makeup there for you, but it's important to always be going through your emails where the bookers will be sending you updates or what the client is specifically asking for. When I arrived, we did hair and makeup, and we did a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal, if you want to call it, and that was amazing because you got a chance to actually feel the runway. Some runways will have wood floors. Most of them have carpet. And with heels, not every designer has you in heels, but the texture of the floor is very important to have a dry run on. And you know, it was amazing because we had a very long walk, very long catwalk. So you have to pay attention to the direction that the designer is asking you to follow. There could be two models walking side by side at the same time. So there's going to be different timings that you'll be coming in on the runway. You always want to remain in the center as you walk down the runway. You don't want to run. You want to walk down the runway. As you walk down the runway, you want to remain in the center because usually the designer's name is right behind you on the backdrop. And once you get down there, I always count to 3. I do the same thing when I first walk out. I count to 3 and I pose and I start walking. And not every time, but sometimes there will be a model walking to your left as you walk down. And once you get down to the end, you again pause for 3 seconds. And then you turn and walk back. And you have to pay attention on which side of the runway you exit and enter on. All that, again, will be given to you in the rehearsal that they have with the designer.
So I know for my first runway, I didn't know many people, and it was the first time I'd ever done it, or only time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of nervous and not
Absolutely.
Unsure. So how did
you get the
feel?
butterflies?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that I always did, and this is a personal thing that I always did, is I always took. You have the rehearsal. Most designers or clients will have a rehearsal. Mm-hmm. So that lets you get familiar with the runway, where the people will be sitting, where the cameras will be is where you should be looking. But as it goes for the butterflies and being nervous, I always take a minute to be by myself for a moment. Like I just, not like leave, but I go step aside and take a couple minutes and just breathe and think about why I'm there and how grateful I am to be there and how many girls would love to be in my spot. And I actually enjoy the butterfly feeling. I I love that feeling. If I could live on stage all day, I would. Getting familiar with the clothing, where your hands are going to be. A lot of designers want you to use the pockets if they have pockets. Really getting to know your clothing that you're going to be wearing, the jewelry, the shoes. And the more familiar you are with a product, just like a person, the more comfortable you feel. So once you're on stage, just remember you own that runway. They're all there to see you. Yeah, because your confidence, that's going to shine through. Yeah.
So I had different looks that I did, and one of them was this long, beautiful gown, but it was backless, and so I had to stay in one position the whole time, otherwise it would kind of fall.
So posture.
Right.
We're gonna talk a little bit about posture later on when we do a little runway class together. But you know, something that's very important that you should do, and you might have done this, is I always like to try on the designer's clothes because I don't like surprises, not in the runway world. So I think it's important to always try on the shoes, to try on the looks. You know, the other thing is we have a lot of quick changes. You know, it's very, very fast paced, very fast moving once the show starts. And I always make sure, sometimes if you're lucky, if you're blessed enough, you'll have a dresser, a lady, or mostly a lady, not a gentleman. It'll be a lady that will be with you, that will be assigned to you to help you dress. You want to go through your looks with the dresser. I always make sure my pants, my shoes, if there's a dress, it's already unzipped, because that 1 second of unzipping that dress is 1 second less you have to get ready. Shoes are another big one. You're not all shoes are going to fit. You have to make it work, no matter what. I was once put in a size 8 Manolo. I am an 11. I made it work. You have to make it work. And then the other thing, I know, true, it's a very true story. The other thing too is, let's say you're walking down the runway and something falls off. A piece of jewelry, heaven forbid, something falls off. You keep going. You don't stop, you don't look at it. It never even happened. You keep going. The show must go on. You pretend as if it didn't happen, and you make the best of it. The more runway shows you do, the more classes you have with your teacher, you're going to get more familiar with these situations and how to handle them.
I definitely was very shy at first, and still working on being shy. So when meeting new people and the intimidation of the runway, how would you deal with that?
So I will be honest, and I will say that the only time I ever get a little shy is on camera. Speaking on camera. So this is a big one for me. We have to face our fears. I think that the more familiar you get with being on the runway, the more those butterflies are going to go away, and you're going to come out of your shell. Now, the excitement of being on the runway, that will always be there. At least it's always there for me. I love being on the runway, but being shy and coming out of your shell, that's something that is your own, and you're going to own it, and in time you're going to blossom. And again, it's all about comfort level. You're young, okay, and I'm young, but when we first started driving, you know, it's scary. You have other drivers on the road, you're behind the wheel for the first time, you're nervous. But the more you get behind the wheel of the car, you become more comfortable. You still want to remain safe at all time. You want to obey all the rules, but you're going to get more comfortable. So I think, like I said, in time, and the more that you get booked, and the more you walk down that runway, the more comfortable you're going to be. Yeah.
Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for our next tutorial on the model bag. To become a Teaching Insider, subscribe to our channel below. See you soon!